And welcome everyone to Learn a Trade. My name is Kevin Tate. Glad to be here with you all today. I hope everyone has had a productive week. Today's show is called L.A.T, Commercial Equipment Repair Weekly Review, where I will be going over some experiences that I encountered this week. And I think I have a pretty good one to go over with you all today. And hopefully you'll be able to interact with me on this live. If not, you can interact in comments on the replays. Before I get into it, I'd like to send a shout out to the website training members: Norman Gonzalez, Amanda Reyes, Donnie Madden, Samuel Cabero, Brian Matthews, Ed Bunker. I appreciate you all being training members, and I know things are going well, and I hope that you continue to get the training on the website and continue to grow your business. I'd also like to shout out Manuel Tate and Sean McKittrick, who are channel members. I thank you for your support. I thank you for continuing to be channel members. I appreciate that. So today's weekly review, I kind of wanted to go over something that we all know about as service providers, and it has to do with our work, our I guess our work ethic, and basically, what I'm getting at is how when you go on a site and say you have something goes wrong at the site, and it causes a little damage. How do you deal with it? How do do you take care of the issue right then and there, try to get it squared away, or do you just leave it as is and then carry on with your day? If for those out there that are catching this live, shoot your comments up there, and let us know. New to commercial service. I mean, brother Mike, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Typical day. I hear that. I hear that, brother. I just got done on an early job today. Figured I shoot this live out there and show some of the viewers, what we run into from time to time. Definitely good afternoon. So definitely, all of you out there, hopefully you can reach out and shoot a comment over, and we'll get into it. Now, let me just kind of set this up, because I went to a site, is a 7-Eleven site, and there had already been a service technician there. So basically, what he had an issue with the Slurpee machine. His problem was with the Slurpee machine, and he ended up not being able to fix the issue with the Slurpee machine. But in the midst of that, he ended up creating an issue with the ice machine. So I know that sounds That sounds strange, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. But excuse me. But basically, he had a leak on a Slurpee machine. Of course, it was the wild cherry flavor, and that leak, in the midst of him trying to detain the leak, to stop that leak, he ended up knocking the power cord out of the outlet for the ice maker. So then it caused a big mess, number one, and then it stopped the ice maker from working. So it was a heavy weekend with holidays and everything in the midst of us, and of course the store ran out of ice. The the ice maker wasn't making any more ice, so the call came in, and I went over there, and when I seen the area, I didn't know what to think at first, because there was just, let me just show you. Let me get my picture here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get this. Let me enlarge this a little bit for you. You see all of that wild cherry flavor all on the ceiling. It's on the ceiling tiles. It's on the wall. It's going down you can see it where it's drip down the window. And this stuff is really sticky. Okay. So it gets all over the place. It's all over the top of the unit, the Slurpee unit itself. The ice maker is right over here, and then here's a couple of shots of the side panel of the ice maker and the soda machine right down here. You can see it. It's all over, all the way down, leaking all the way down the wall. And as you can see, it leaked down into the outlet, into most of the outlets under, right behind the counters. Okay. So all of the machines are mainly plugged in back here on this back wall behind the counters. And this black and white cord right here, that's the power cord for the ice maker. And what he did was, when he was attempting to get back here to stop the leak on the Slurpee machine, he uh, he ended up his foot ended up hitting the power cord on the ice maker, and he knocked it out of place. But I'm really not concerned about the ice maker issue. But that was taken care of in no time. I went in, I seen it was not making ice. I checked the harvest. Um, I'm sorry, the bin stat. I tested the bin stat. Bin stat was working fine. And then I noticed there was no power. There was no power to the machine. So that was an easy fix. But the thing that I'm really looking at is that this person came in, and um, they had this mess that came about from a leak on the Slurpee machine. And basically, it wasn't, at first it was just leaking out of the back. Okay. At first it was just leaking out of the back of the machine. But the thing that he didn't do is he didn't shut off the CO2. He didn't shut off his syrup line, the syrup, and from the back room to the front. He could have really eliminated all of this. But basically what happened was he ended up getting into the back panel, and then he released one of the lines to try to fix the issue, because it had a leaking. What was really leaking was the active charge valve was leaking out, so it had a ruptured bladder tank. So what he did was he disconnected that bladder tank, and everything was still hooked up, the CO2, the syrup. So naturally, when that happens, you know, when that happens, it just sprays all over the place. It just sprays all over. So that's what was going on. And yeah, Mike, this was a it turned out to be an emergency call on the ice maker, so I got an emergency ticket for that ice maker. So, but that was an easy fix. That wasn't a problem. But yeah, that turned into an emergency ticket. It really should have been an emergency ticket, like with all of this, because what he ended up doing was he told the store owner that he had to order a part, and then he was going to come back, and that he was going to clean this up. Okay, he was going to clean all of this up. Okay, now look at this. This is all over the windows. It's all over the equipment, everything. It's on the walls and everything. Okay, so his thing was, I'm going to come back. I'm going to clean it up, and then I'll replace the part, and then that'll be it from there, right? But the thing that I'm seeing is, when I got the emergency work ticket, this was like 2 to 3 days after. This was like 2 to 3 days after this had happened. So this stuff has been sitting on the walls for about 2 to 3 days, I would say. And the other company didn't return yet. So you see what I mean about leaving things? And I mean, this is something that, personally, for me, that this has happened to me in the past. Um, not the not as far as being on site and then actually, like, cutting a line or something. I mean, that stuff happens from time to time, but this happened to me from a one of these syrup lines being cut. One of these syrup lines had gotten brittle, and then it just got a cut in it, so it was just spraying out against the window. Okay, so when that happened, when I arrived on that site, and I seen that, there was syrup sprayed out on the window and on the walls and everything. Before I even got started, I shut off the CO2, shut off the syrup, disconnected that syrup line, and then from there, I went ahead and I cleaned everything that was hit with it, the walls, the ceiling, and stuff like that. And you got to keep in mind too, if you're an independent service provider, this is your own business. Or let's say you're an independent service provider, and you leave a you leave a location like this, and they look at the ceiling tiles there. That is like one or two, possibly three tiles that have damage. Okay. So now what could happen is the customer could file a complaint. It could file a complaint, and this is something where you would be responsible to replace those tiles, maybe, or and then come in and clean everything off of the walls, okay, and the windows and stuff like that. But if you're working for a company and you're a service technician with a company, look at how this has been left. Look at the appearance of everything. And the site has to. They're just wondering when someone's going to come back to take care of this. So, in that case, what I'm getting at is, what are you, how are you representing your company? How are you representing the company you're working for? when you leave a site like that and you don't come back. And now there's a lot of these things that go on where, say, you got to order parts, or you need to do, maybe you need to do a little more research, and then you have to come back and re-diagnose a piece of equipment or something like that. You know, this is just my advice from experience. Good communication with your customer is important, okay? Because you don't want them getting the wrong idea about your work ethic and how you leave stuff. If they see that this is the type of way that you leave their site, um if it's your business, they may not call you back again, okay? um and trust me, in this industry, the word spreads quickly. So this is not a dig on whoever did this. This is not like a personal dig, or throwing you under the bus or anything like that. This has nothing to do with that. This is just an example of what I found, and then I had to deal with the site, and them not being satisfied. And it wasn't my company that did it, but the thing is that this is how it was left. And the customer was not, obviously, they weren't happy about it. You can't blame them. The the owner of this site, I've known him for a number of years, and I know how he is, and I know he likes things to be left the same or better than when you came there. Okay, so I know his personality. I've dealt with him for over 15 years now, so I know how he felt about it. And with it being 2 to 3 days like this, he wasn't very happy. So this is just something that I want to kind of share with you guys, that it's important to take those extra steps to you know clean up the area, if you made a mess, if it was something that you were working on, and this this leak happened to you. Take the extra time to clean it up. And trust me, your customers recognize that. And a lot of times, if you're an independent service provider, they appreciate that. They really appreciate that, and word of mouth spreads fast. Let me tell you, because if he would have stayed and cleaned that up, they would have really been appreciative. They would have talked about it to other franchisees and all kinds of stuff like that. But even though the machine wasn't fixed yet, they still seen you took the time to go and clean up and order the part that they need, and then you're going to return to fix the machine. So now when that technician returns, he's not going to be received very well. You see what I'm saying? So this is something that we all need to kind of look at when it comes to how we're working on stuff, and how we're um, taking care of our customer. Because all it took was for him to just relax. Because I'm sure I've been in these situations, and I'm sure you get, when you start seeing syrup leaking all over the place, you're on edge. You're trying to get that leak stopped, because it's going all over. So I know he probably got uptight and trying to figure out how to get behind the counters, and moving stuff around and stuff like that. And in the midst of that, he ended up kicking this power cord out, and that's another tip that, when you're moving around the back of this equipment like that, excuse me, 1 minute. Yeah, so when you're moving around the back of these counters and stuff, especially in these 7-Eleven stores, it's tight. It's not easy to get around them, get behind them, and stuff like that. It's really tight. So you want to look into going going back and seeing if your foot hits something. If it's when his foot hit down here, this is the bundle. This is the syrup bundle that you see right here. This tube. It's got about between 12 to 14 individual tubes in there, and these are what the syrup lines. This is what we use for the syrup line. So this tube runs all the way to the back room to the rack, and then this end here is going up to the Slurpee machines and the soda machines, and it's called a bundle. So they'll call something like this. They'll call it a bundle, okay? Because sometimes you'll have two of these going the same way, and like it'll be bundle A, and the other one would be bundle B, just to make that clear. And those are your syrup lines and your CO2 lines that are coming from the rack and going to the machines. But when he went back here and his foot hit that, he should have looked down just to check, did I knock anything out? And then that way he would have seen that ice maker um, plug out, because that's all it was as far as the ice maker goes. Um, that was the ice maker right there. But um, he could have seen that, and it would have been easy enough for him to just plug that back in, and then it would have been nothing else. Nothing else would have been an issue. But instead, after him kicking that out, they ended up running out of ice over the weekend, or during the week, and then they had to call in another service call. So then that's really stressing out the staff and the owner and stuff like that. So these are things that you want to take in mind when you're working on a piece of equipment, because you know he probably had no idea that he had hit that, knocked the plug out when he was getting back there. He was more concerned about stopping that leak. And then the the main thing is just going back and seeing the the way the tubing is. Seeing the way the the site was left, and for him not to return, that that really is a it's a bad look for the company, themselves, because there's already enough um, issues between store owners and service companies and stuff like that. That this type of stuff, it just gives a real bad look at it. So just keep in mind when you're working on these sites, because it's not so much about you getting everything fixed and fixing it perfect. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you have to come back. Sometimes you're going to get a call back. That's just part of that's part of it. But stuff like this, if you have leaks, clean them up. Do your best to clean them up. And if you're really pressured and you don't really have time, then explain it to the customer that you got to run on another call, but you are going to come back to do this. And try to give them like a time frame, because it's all about communications. If you don't communicate when you're coming back, then they're just going to assume that you're coming right back. And if you don't, then after that, after a couple of days, then they're upset about it because you never showed back up. So it's just about communication. If you communicate and let them know, hey, I can't make it back for about 2 or 3 days, but I am coming back and I'm going to clean all this up. That So in most cases that'll satisfy them. Okay, so I'm just trying to give a little tip that's going to help you in the future. I mean, no matter what you're doing, if you're doing HVAC, if you're doing equipment repair, if you're doing residential, commercial, it's all the same when it comes to that. And you know, the, this is just this is not something that I am putting out here just to dig on somebody, and I'm just aware that a lot of these a lot of these guys are under pressure to get a lot of stuff done all at once. Okay, so when it's like that and they're dealing with a leak and they already know, oh, I gotta work on some gas pumps at this other store, or I gotta work on some floor tiles at another store. Um, you know, a lot of these guys, they're more so like handymen for 7-Eleven, so they have to take care of everything. Okay, that's the building maintenance, the fuel pump maintenance and service. That's the equipment, all the way to the money order machines, the safes, stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot, and I understand that. So this is why I'm just stressing. It's about the communication. It's some things you just are not going to get to, but it's better to just be upfront and just say, I'm not going to get to this for a couple of days, rather than say I'm going to come back and then I'm going to do this or that, and then they don't see you for a few days. Then it's a different thing. They're looking at it differently. So this is all basically, your customer service. And it's an important thing to look into, uh, for yourself. Enough of you are out there, going to sites and dealing with customers every day. So, just remember, next time that that something comes up, just remind yourself, it's more so about you communicating, and if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free. I got a little more time on here. I'm gonna you know, look for some of you to, send some comments through, some questions if you want. You can have questions on anything: FBD, Lancer, ice makers, Hoshizaki, isomatic. Isomatic, isomatic's another animal too for me lately. Isomatic has been something else. Let's see, it's got Mike. The tech might have quit. Do you know who it was? Um, yeah, yeah, Mike. You know what's been happening? Um, there has been a lot of the in-house techs have been quitting. And from what I'm hearing, by the way, I don't know who exactly the technician was on that job, but I do have a feeling that it was probably like a newly hired technician that may have just gotten done with a few weeks training. But as you know, that training is not as solid as it should be, that they're getting. It's kind of like, quick overviews and then kick you out there, But but yeah, but what I've been hearing from what I hear is a lot of them aren't happy with the on call structure, and a lot of them are feeling burnt out, and they're leaving. So it is there. It seems to be like a heavy turnaround on their technicians' status over there. Yep, yep, that's right. That's right, Mike. Mike is saying training takes time and OJT is still needed. Yep, that's the truth. And it's unfortunate, Mike, because as a lot of the old timers are retiring. A lot of them have retired, a lot are retiring, and they're losing a lot of experience there. And a lot of these guys are not really getting the proper training. I mean, they are, from what I understand, they are getting some manufacturer training, but I'm not too sure on what level it's at. I'm not sure if they're actually sending them to the manufacturer locations, or do they have a manufacturer just coming out and going over things. I'm not too sure on that part of it, but I definitely feel that the OJT is needed. But then even with that, I don't know what structure they're using for their OJT. Like, are they just sending them out with a guy for 3 days, and then putting them in his own van and saying, go at it? It's just, you just never know. It really should be better, because I know back in my day, it was you were in a van with an experienced tech for 6 to 9 months sometimes, depending on your level of experience, your level of knowledge and stuff. And sometimes you were on a van with a guy. You rode along with him, and you worked the jobs with him, and they will watch over you while you did the work, and let you know where you were wrong at, and what you needed to correct. But now it really doesn't seem like that. Yeah, Mike's saying that every month techs and companies are vanishing due to retirement. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely right. Yep. And like I said, a lot of you out there that are, if you're not catching this live, that's fine. But a lot of you out there, you've been to Mike Reed's channel, new to commercial service, and you've been, you're on this channel, and we have a lot of information that we can feed to all of you with the experience. That's what we're trying to do, is trying to let you see that there is such a shortage in technicians now, that the I mean, this is just a wide open field right now. And I really hope for a lot of you that you take it, you know take this information that we're given, and run with it. I mean, just go to the website, learn a trade dot online. Go to the website, go to Mike Reed's channel, new to commercial service, and just listen to some of the information, and even the links that we provide. We we try to provide the links so that you can get in contact with manufacturers directly and stuff like that. And you know, that should be a real big help in its own right there. And and we're really looking forward to sharing with you all some other information on December 4th. I believe that's a Wednesday. I believe that's a Wednesday, I think. Let me just check real quick because I've been off on my days lately. Yeah, December 4th is Wednesday. And, you know, I hope you all are out there to catch it live. If you're not, catch the replays because, you know, we're trying to put this information out there because it's always available. It's always available. And this industry is wide open right now. So, you know, definitely, you know, get into it. Uh, if you feel like you have a lack of knowledge on a certain piece of equipment, reach out. You know, reach out in comments. I have my email in this description and in this live description. The website is link is in there also. You can go there and you know, hit us up. And like I said, Mike Reed's channel also. You can definitely hit us up, and we'll definitely get you the information that you need. I mean, it's not too hard to find, not too hard to find at all. And I'm hoping that you all are seeing this, seeing the potential in this, that you have a limited amount of resources here, through this channel, through the website, through Mike Reed's channel. And you know, let me just share a story with you. This gentleman he's a viewer of this channel, and I plan to bring him on. His name's Jesse. We spoke a couple of days ago, and he came across the channel. I've told this story before, but now it's even more potent because he was a technician for Pepsi, and for 7 years, and he got laid off after 7 years, and he just really did not know what to do. He was just trying to figure out what he could do next. So you know what he did was, he said he came across Learn a Trade on through Google, and he started watching the videos and seeing the information that was being given and the resources, and then he started plugging himself in with the resources that we were given. You know, plugging himself in with Bunn Manufacturing, okay, Bunn Corporation, and For Real, Vixo. You know, these are all companies that I've went over to let you know that there's work available through these manufacturers. And I'm always talking about getting linked in with the manufacturers, and getting on their list, opening an opening an account to purchase parts. Always talking about that. And this is something that Jesse did. He took that step, and he went and he applied with Bunn to be a service provider. He applied with For Real to be a service provider. He applied with a few other companies, and now he's out in Southern California, and he's got more work coming in, that now he's really looking at hiring more techs. You know, so I'm gonna bring him on in a few weeks, and I want to bring him on so he could tell his story in his way, and maybe you could communicate with him as well, to some of the steps that he took, and find out. a little more for yourself too. But I'm telling you, it's out there. We've all been telling you about this stuff, and I just love to see when when people take the initiative to take that step. There's links that we're giving out here that are are for you to get direct access to the manufacturer. We're not hiding anything from you. There's nothing secret about this or anything. This is what it is. This is how you um, expand your business. This is how you grow your business. This is how you grow as a service provider. So it's really on you, and it's really on how motivated you are to do what you say you want to do. And I want to see you all succeed. I want to hear more success stories. And I mean, even one is like is really good. I mean, for to me, one is really good, but I know for sure that a lot of you can be doing the same thing. It's just a matter of taking that step and reaching out, opening up to um, to new things. A lot of times we get caught in our own comfort zone. A lot of times we get caught when I'm saying in our comfort zone, it's what we feel comfortable with. So it's something that we feel safe with, and then we we feel like that's a good enough reason for us not to step out, not to take that risk. But in any business, any successful business, it has its great amount of risk. That's what it takes. So if you don't want to take risks, then this might not be this might not be the thing for you. It's about stepping out there, taking that risk. You know, see what doors are open. How will you know until you reach out? You know, Bunn's not just gonna call you up and say, "Hey, do you want to work on coffee brewers, or do you want to work on slushy machines, Ultra Twos?" They're not just gonna hand it to you. So you got to open these doors. You got to open these doors, man, and this is what it's about. This is what we're talking about. And um, getting back to this here. This is this in my opinion. Okay, it's just my opinion. I'm not digging, but this is unacceptable um, to me. I mean, with for my company, if I had a tech that left this like this, I would go out myself and clean that up. If I knew that one of my technicians left the site like this. Okay, so that's just where I'm at. I'd like to know some of your opinions. I would like to know what some of you think. Have any of you ran into this? Has something like this happened to you and you had to decide, whether to clean it up now or to come back or anything like that, or was coming back even a thought in your mind? These are things that I would like to know about, because to me, this wouldn't even been a thought. I would have had to put the extra time in. So it's and then that's another thing. Are you willing to put the extra time in that you need to? Are you willing to put in the hours? Because trust me, in this service industry, you don't have set hours. I don't care. I don't care how much they say you can make your own hours or whatever. Yeah, you can make your own hours, but there's no set amount of hours, especially if you're a service provider and you're talking about doing on-call work. Okay, if you're doing on-call work, there's no set amount of hours. You're out there till it's done, basically. If that's not for you, then, not saying that the service field isn't for you. The service field might be for you, but it might be in a limited role, as far as doing on calls and stuff like that. And a lot of times in this business, if you're not providing some type of on call, you don't get calls. So think about that as well. um, you know if you're in the midst of setting up your business plan, or setting up a plan for your business, um, is that going to be part of it? Are you going to do on call? Are you going to provide on call? If you provide on call, to what extent are you going to provide it? As far as, just to give you a little information on that, like as far as 7-Eleven goes, or Vixo, they're another company that uh, dispatches out service work on all types of equipment, and all of the manufacturers, all of the major corporations. Vixo handles uh, their service requests. So let's take Vixo. Vixo has a priority system. So they have a P1, P2, P3, P4, and then it goes on to like P6, I think. But I've only seen P1 through P4s. And if you get a P1 call and you're a service provider for Vixo, they expect you to be on site within 4 hours. Okay. So when if you have something like that, when you have something like that, um, you need to, keep that in mind, as when you're setting up your business model. Are you going to be that service provider that can provide service within 4 hours? And are you gonna what's your service radius going to be? Okay, these are some questions that I think may help you in setting up your business model, setting up your business plan, because they're going to ask you this stuff. What is your radius going to be? Are you going to do service in a radius of 50 miles of your shop, or of your home, or within 20 miles of your home? This is something you want to think about, because if you're a one-man crew right now, okay, say you have no service techs other than yourself, what's your radius going to be? What's your service radius going to be? Are you going to look to do service with Vixo, who has a priority system? And you can still do service with Vixo, but the thing is you might want to cut down your radius, your service radius, so that if you do get a P1, and you're not going to be like um, 2 hours away from a location, when the response time is supposed to be within 4 hours. You know what I mean? So those are some things that uh, you could think about also. And definitely, like I said, leave uh, your opinions in the comments, and feel free to speak freely when it comes to service questions and equipment questions. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know, but I will do my best to find out. Yeah, and Mike has some comments. He says you stay till the job is done. Yeah. Yeah, brother. Movie snatch. Yep. That's right. Yeah, that's it. And that's how you got to look at it. You stay until it's done. I remember one time I had a technician riding along with me, and he was new. but he was new, but he had just gotten out of trade school, so he just got out of HVAC school, so um, he really wasn't. He was familiar with um, a lot of the theory and stuff for HVAC and everything like that, and but he wasn't really familiar with the beverage equipment as far as the equipment itself, the programming, the running lines to it, the electrical hookups. He wasn't used to that. Okay, and I remember I took him on a job with me, and we were going to service a water leak that was happening on a Slurpee machine. So what happened was someone had when they set this Slurpee machine up, they ran the drain line into the floor drain, but then they wire tied the drain line to the actual water inlet, water outlet line that the main water line was connected to, which was a copper water line. They wire tied the drain line to the water line to secure it, and that's that's not a good look right there. You don't want to connect your drain line. You don't want to secure your drain lines your to any water lines that are coming out of the wall. Okay, so long story short, I what happened was when someone had pulled the machine forward. So when they pulled the machine forward, that put tension on that drain line, which caused tension on the main water line, and the main water line was older copper. It had bent, and I had a little hole in the side of it. So that line had to be redone. Okay, and mind you, by the time me and this trainee got to the site, it was it was like 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m. and at the time I told him, I said, hey, we got to go shut the main water off. We're gonna have to get up into the ceiling so that we can rerun a water line. Okay. And he says, Kevin, how long is this gonna take? I gotta get home. I said, well, it's going to take as long as it takes. I cannot tell you how long it's going to take. I haven't even looked at the extent of the damage on this water line yet. So I couldn't tell him how long it was going to take. But the thing was, it was like he was not ready for that. He was not ready for that. He was thinking, we should have been out of here. I got to go home type of thing. But it's not like that in the service field. So needless to say, we were there until 9 o'clock until we got the whole the whole site back up and running, and made sure all the equipment was back up and running because we had shut the water off. So naturally, we had to go back and check all of the water, make sure everything was getting the proper water and stuff like that. So that was something that trainee had to experience in order to be able to realize that this is not just a regular 9 to 5 type thing. So keep that in mind, and you know, definitely, speak out with your comments about that. Thanks for that comment, Mike. That stay till it gets done. That's so true. Yeah, definitely. I will share the video with you with Mike at New to Commercial Equipment Repair too. For any of you that feel you may need some information, um, refreshers, um, on certain equipment, we can do that. Just let me know. Reach out. My email should be in the description. Um, I'm also gonna put Mike's link for new to commercial service in the description as well. Put his link in there too, because you know that's another thing that is important. That you're able to reach out to us and reach out to let us know, you know, where you're in need, what you're in need of, you know. And another thing that I really would like you to comment on, and or email me, or email us and let us know is, are you independent? Are you working for yourself, or are you working for another company? Um, and the reason for that is just basically to know, like, where you're at, like, what type of content you would more what would more so help you the most, because if you're starting your own appliance business, are you looking to get into residential, or are you looking to be in commercial? Because that's another thing, it's that we could share with you. We could share a lot of information with you. Mike has a lot of information on the residential and commercial side. I have some experience on the residential side, but most of my experience is on the commercial side as well. So I would definitely like to share some videos with you that we have out there, that we already have available, and that you can see on this channel. You can go to playlists, and I have set up a playlist by the list, so you can, if you're interested in Slurpee equipment, you can look at Slurpee Slurpee machine repair playlists. If you're looking for soda equipment, fountain soda equipment, you can find the fountain soda machine play repair playlist as well. And and then also put in the comments too, what type of videos you would like to see, and we will set that up for you. And I definitely feel that the live that Mike and I are going to do on December 4th, I definitely feel a lot of you will get some real good information out of that. Yeah, I definitely feel that you will get a lot out of that. So by all means, everyone, take care, and I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate those who have tuned in to see this live, and hopefully we will be able to bring you more lives. I do plan to do more lives with Mike Reed, as I said, and I do plan to do more lives like these weekly reviews that I'd like to do do for you. And I feel like it helps me be able to get out a lot more information to you, and be able to communicate with you on a more direct level too. Mike had another comment. Too big a radius means it's harder to return to callbacks. Yep, that's true, Mike. And that's the thing. That's why I brought that up too, because that is important. If you get a callback and you're 2-3 hours away, what are you gonna do? Like, you want to get to it, but then it's like kind of really putting more heat on you to do it. So think about that when you're setting up your business model. Think about, you know, how you're going to get through, how you're going to set up your service radius and stuff like that, and you know what companies would benefit you more, what companies can benefit from your service more. Okay. Looks like I got a comment from Greg B. Greg B, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Can you put your stuff on Teachable? Greg, yeah, I can. I can put it on Teachable. I did have some stuff on Teachable in the past, and I removed it. I wasn't getting a very good response from it on Teachable, but I do have the stuff on our on my website, which is www.learnatrade.online, and I have that link in the description as well. And then also, Greg, I have been transforming some of the teaching material, the training materials, training videos. I've been bringing a lot of those over to my members section. So also keep that in mind too, Greg, that if you become a member, you will have access to a lot of those training videos that I have on the website as well. And I do have a number of training members on the website that I have been getting good response from that. But as for right now, I do not have, I do not have anything on Teachable anymore. I used to, but then I pulled it off, and decided to set up my own website to provide that same structure of training. So I hope that answers your question, Greg, and hopefully you'll stay with us. Thanks for that comment. But yeah, I'm at an hour right now, everyone, and I really appreciate you all tuning in. Hopefully you all can catch this on replay if you haven't caught it live. And remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Take care and stay well.